So, hello everyone, and welcome to the latest Heat podcast from Delta Energy and Environment's Heat Cluster team. My name is Cate Lyon. I'm an analyst in the Heat Cluster at Delta, and I'm joined today by my colleague, Mr. Lukas Bergmann.
Hello.
Lukas is the manager of the Heat Pump Research Service here at Delta. And Lukas, I understand you were recently at the annual conference of the German Heat Pump Association.
Yes.
So that was held back in November. And I was just wondering, from that conference, what were kind of some of the key themes that you took away from that our listeners would like to know about?
Yes, so one of the key things that I took away from the conference, and which is a very encouraging thing, is that the German heat pump market is doing really, really well this year. There seems to be double-digit growth across pretty much all the different technology segments in the market this year.
Okay, well that's really good news. And what are your thoughts on what the main drivers are for that?
There are three main things that are driving the German market this year. On the one hand, we have a tightening of the new build regulations, which came into force in January, and that really drives the market share of heat pumps in the new build sector this year. We've seen already by the end of August a growth of about 12%. Of the heat pumps share in the market.
Okay.
On the other hand, we're also in a very strong new build market in general. So there's a lot of activity in the market, and a lot of growth in the number of homes that are being built every year. And then last but not least, there's been a very strong increase in the incentive for heat pumps, the so-called MAP subsidy. And that has really helped drive the market both in new build and retrofit, because on the one hand, the available money has been increased quite significantly, and on the other hand, it's now also available for new build. If you basically go above and beyond the requirements for the retrofit sector, then you can also have it in new build segment.
Okay. So yeah, it sounds like German market is doing quite well off the back of the regulations and also the subsidy. I suppose in terms of uptake of new heating technologies like heat pumps, the upfront cost is obviously an important factor. There's also the side of the ongoing running costs. So I understand that one of the challenges with heat pumps at the moment has been the high cost of electricity and the high running cost. Was there anything discussed at the conference that related to the ongoing price of the fuel that the heat pump uses?
Yes, so that has been an ongoing topic for years and years at this conference, mainly from the side of the heat pump industry, obviously complaining about the very high electricity prices, which are mainly driven by the levy for renewable energy, which is completely put onto the electricity price, and makes up about 6.5 cents per kilowatt hour these days.
It's quite significant.
Yeah, but what was very encouraging this time around was that there seems to be a growing recognition amongst the policymakers, and in particular also the Ministry for the Economy, that the current way that taxes and levies are being put onto the different fuel prices is really hindering the uptake of heat pump technology and other efficient heating systems. So the government seems to be waking up to that problem of the price differences between gas and electricity. And I think that there is a real chance that we will see action on this topic in the future after the German elections in 2017. But we also see more and more sensitivity around this issue in other countries. So it's not only in Germany. We have seen calls for changes to the tax structure in the UK. There's growing recognition of the topic on the European level with the latest fourth energy package, which has a report looking in particular at the price structure of gas and electricity. And then last but not least, earlier this year in January, the Dutch government has actually started to act on this issue. So what they have done is that they have reduced the taxes on electricity, and at the same time increased the taxes on gas, so that for them and for a particular income bracket or a standard user, the measure is income neutral.
Okay.
But it is helping a lot the economic proposition of heat pumps by making electricity more affordable and cheaper.
Yeah, which will really help to improve the economic case for a heat pump versus some of the incumbent technologies, for example, gas boilers or oil boilers, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, good. Okay. So again, another promising sign there. And what do you think has been the driver for this increased awareness among policymakers in terms of the energy price structure?
So there are really two things, an old one and then a newer one, I would say. The old driver for all these measures and changes have been the 2020 targets, and now going forward the new 2030 targets. But since around this time last year, we have a very new agreement in place, the Paris Agreement, and we really see this driving more and more thinking in the political community around how can we achieve this. So the important thing to be aware of here is that the world has agreed on pursuing a 2 degrees Celsius limitation on global warming, and ideally even being more ambitious and trying to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. What that means in most of the trajectories that the climate scientists are looking at is that from about 2050 at the latest, we will need to be net zero carbon emissions globally.
Yeah.
But obviously, there are different countries have different levels of wealth, of opportunity, and also possibility to reduce their carbon emissions. And there are strong voices saying that. In particular, the industrialized countries will have to put in more effort and will probably have to decarbonize even earlier. And so, one presentation at the conference was showing that actually, in order to hit a 1.5 degrees Celsius target with a high level of certainty, we will probably have to decarbonize. Germany would have to decarbonize its energy demand by about 2040.
Okay, so even sooner than 2050.
Yes, 2040 really is in terms of investment cycles, etc. It's just around the corner. Basically, what that means would be that in 5 years' time, 5 years' time, in 2020. We see the last gas boiler being installed in Germany. Because generally they last for around 20 years, 15, 20 years, depends a bit, varies among countries. But in Germany, they are generally lasting quite long.
Okay, yeah.
And well, this would really shake up the market. Obviously, at the moment, we're not there yet. But I think that there's more and more recognition and thinking about this topic. But there's also still a lot of uncertainty about this trajectory, what it means, how this could be implemented, what the policy decisions are going to be that are required. But I think there will be a lot of change in the coming years around these discussions, and we are holding our own Delta EE European Heat Summit in June next year in Edinburgh. And this topic and the policy implications and the effects on the heating industry of the Paris Agreement will certainly be a key element of the discussions there and of the presentations and discussions among participants. And we will also have a series of webinars and podcasts and white papers leading up to this to kind of lay the groundwork for for the summit. So I think it's going to be very interesting times for the heating industry in the next coming years.
Yeah, definitely. No, lots of interesting topics to debate there. What's the future going to be? How much longer can we continue to see oil and gas boilers going into homes? And yes, what are the technologies that are going to come in to replace them, and how soon do we need to start installing those? So lots of interesting debate, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners will have strong opinions on that. We'd obviously love to see as many of you as possible at the Delta European Heat Summit in June of next year. If you'd like to find out more about it, you can visit our website to find out more and register your interest. It's allthews.delta-ee.com/summits. And you can, as Lukas mentioned, we'll be doing a series of webinars, podcasts and white papers leading up to it. So please visit the Delta website to find out more about those. So thank you very much, Lukas. That's been really interesting.
Thank you.
And hope to have you all listen in again soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.